Welcome back to the Board Business Channel. You know, we talk about all these global companies, and sometimes you just find these hidden gems. Today we're going to talk about one.
Yeah.
Qisda.
Qisda.
You may not have heard of them, but wow, they have a story.
Yeah, they really do.
This is a company that was almost down for the count, and now they're leading a whole fleet of companies. So kind of let's go back to the beginning, 1984.
Okay.
They're founded as an electronics manufacturer, pretty standard at the time, right?
Yeah, typical, yeah.
But then 2006 rolls around.
Oh, yeah.
And they take some pretty big losses. They invest in Siemens. It doesn't quite go the way they hoped.
Yeah, they lost a lot of money. They became very low profile.
Yeah. And meanwhile, all these Chinese companies are coming up.
Yeah, they were getting squeezed.
So they had these losses and they had all this new competition.
Yeah.
And it was hard to keep employees. So all these employees were leaving to go start their own businesses.
That's right, that's right.
In fact, fun fact, a lot of restaurant owners in Suzhou are ex-Qisda employees.
Yeah.
So it was really kind of a turning point for the company. And this is where our main man, Peter Chen, comes into the picture.
Peter Chen, yeah.
Hands-on engineer. You can tell that his engineering background just bleeds into his leadership.
I think so.
So methodical and strategic.
Well, you know, he also followed John Kotter's 8 steps for successful transformation.
It's interesting. I read somewhere that he's been an avid note-taker ever since his Techo days. Carries a notebook everywhere, jots down everything.
Oh, yeah. I think that's how he was the youngest manager at every level. He was always prepared.
Always prepared.
Always.
So he comes into Qisda, and he's got this big idea, and he's going to shake things up.
Right.
And his idea is to go from just making stuff to creating these high-value-added businesses.
Yeah, that's the pivot.
So explain that a little bit.
So it's sort of like if you're, you know, they were selling just the rice, and now they're selling the rice with a nice chicken leg with it.
Okay.
So they're really giving you the full meal now. Yeah.
Right. Instead of just assembling the parts, they're creating solutions.
That's right.
And it's mind-blowing. They're in everything: information and communication technology, medical devices and services, smart solutions for manufacturing, retail, healthcare, energy.
Oh, yeah.
5G.
It's quite a range.
And so how did they do all this? They did this through this fleet model.
The fleet model.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
So tell me about the fleet model.
Well, instead of just having, you know, instead of trying to do it all themselves, they invested in or partnered with companies in all these different fields.
So instead of one giant company,
yeah,
they have this
a fleet of companies.
Of companies.
Okay.
And the results kind of speak for themselves. 2014, they only had one listed subsidiary.
Right.
Now they've got over 15 publicly traded companies.
All working together.
This is like a well-coordinated fleet.
That's the idea.
Where each ship has its own specialty. Okay, so they're in Taiwan, obviously.
Yeah, headquartered in Taiwan.
But they've got a global reach. Manufacturing in China, Vietnam, R&D in both Taiwan and China. Service locations in Japan, Singapore, us.
Yeah.
And they're selling their products in over 100 countries.
It's pretty impressive.
And speaking of these global connections, we got to give a shout out to our friend Steve, Executive Director of the Arizona Taiwan office.
Steve, yeah.
He's been a great bridge builder, connecting us with all these fantastic Taiwanese companies like Qisda.
Yeah.
Doing some pretty amazing things.
For sure.
So let's dive a little bit deeper into this fleet model. How does it actually work? What are the nuts and bolts of this?
So if you think about it like they're kind of like a venture capitalist, but on a much bigger scale. They identify these promising companies, and they provide not just capital, but expertise and resources.
So it's almost like an incubator, but it's more than that.
Yeah, it's like an incubator on steroids.
Okay, so they're helping these companies.
Right, to grow and thrive.
But they're not just picking companies out of a hat.
No.
There's a system.
Definitely a system.
To this madness.
Well, you know, Peter Chen, the engineer.
Right.
So they're looking at market potential, the technology.
Right.
But really importantly, the values.
Yeah. So it's making sure they align more than just a quick buck. They're trying to build these long-term.
Right. Long-term, sustainable.
Okay, now you mentioned values.
Yeah.
What are their values?
So they have 4 core values: integrity, excellence, passion, and contribution.
And it sounds like they weave that into everything they do.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of cool.
It is. I mean, it's not just about profits.
Right.
It's also about sustainability.
Yeah, so they're actually walking the walk.
They are.
Not just talking the talk.
Yeah. Like, for example, they've invested in eco-friendly manufacturing. They have education initiatives in their communities.
And this all ties back to
trying to make a positive impact.
So this fleet model, this global reach, these strong values, what does it all mean for the U.S. market?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think they definitely have the potential to really make a splash.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. This diverse portfolio, they can be really flexible.
Right. Like they've got all these tools in their tool belt ready to adapt to the U.S. market.
Right. But there are challenges, right?
Sure.
The U.S. market is complex.
Yeah.
Different regulations, consumer preferences.
It's a whole different ballgame.
It is. It is. So, you know, they're going to need to do some careful planning.
Right.
Really understand the American consumer.
Yeah, but they've shown they're not afraid of a good challenge.
They haven't. So I think one of the things to watch is how they use this fleet model to enter the U.S. market.
Right. So are they going to partner with American companies?
Or, you know, maybe acquire some startups.
Yeah. Build new facilities.
Right. Build from scratch.
So it's like a chess game.
Kind of, yeah.
They're making these strategic moves.
They are.
To try to position themselves in the U.S.
And they've got the track record of innovation and adaptability.
Yeah.
So I think they have a pretty good shot.
So you're saying, watch out, America, Qisda's coming.
Maybe. Maybe.
I mean, it's incredible, right? They came back from this almost devastating loss.
Yeah, they turned it around.
And became this powerhouse.
Total reinvention.
It really shows their adaptability.
Yeah, and I think the leadership,
right.
Peter Chen seems like a really strong leader.
He does. And you know what really stands out to me?
What's that?
Is that it's not just about the money for them.
Right.
They really are trying to make a difference with these core values.
The integrity, the excellence, the passion, the contribution.
It seems like they really are trying to live those values.
Yeah.
Which is pretty rare.
It is pretty rare, and I think it's smart. Because I think consumers are really starting to pay attention to that.
Right.
You know, they want to support companies that share their values.
So it's not just good business. It's good.
It's good for everyone.
It's good for the world.
It is.
So Qisda's story is almost like a reminder that success in business isn't just about the product.
Or the money.
That's
about the vision.
It's about having the right team, the right vision.
The values.
Yeah.
Doing things the right way.
And maybe a good notebook.
Always a good notebook. Peter Chen, changing the world one page at a time.
So what about you guys listening? Are there companies you admire for their values and their commitment?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know down in the comments.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this episode of the Board Business Channel. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications.